Alright, hello and welcome to the guide on Soul Hunters. So, this fight, we're not going to talk about Mythic, but it's just mechanic puke. It's your council fight with a million things going on, but like 2 or 3 things that you need to handle correctly to kill the fight. And I could sit here and go through every single ability, but I'm just going to go over the strat you should be using on Heroic to kill the boss ASAP. So this is a raid plan. Again, it's going to be in the comments as they always are. But I really just want to hop right into the VOD. So this is from our testing, and there's a few things I want to point out. So the first thing I want to point out here is you're going to have these soaks, and you can have certain players get into these soaks to do the debuff. So if you have BM Hunters, extremely good. Healers, if the healing is not very intense, extremely good on Heroic, especially if you're overhealing. And basically the goal of these players soaking here is you're going to pass around this debuff the rest of the fight to soak circles that spawn. And I'll point that out when that happens. This mechanic here is the tank mechanic. If you did Mythic Gul'dan, you'll know everything about it, except this is way easier than that. You see these, you step in these. Very simple. Anyone can do it. There's also a frontal here. And again, it's a council fight, so you're going to get these lines. You dodge those. You dodge this void shift here. And then you have these puddles spawning. So now you can see he has this debuff. It's at 7 stacks, which means he's taking more and more and more damage. And he's going to be soaking these puddles. I'm going to talk about the hunt in a second. But he's going to go in and he's going to take as many as these puddles as humanly possible. Now, when you're soaking these puddles, you need to get the ones under the boss first, because there's a whole melee group and tanks there. That is hard priod. These ones in the middle of the room, very easy for range to dodge. Those should be lower priod. The way we handled it is you soak a set. Whenever your stacks are around 10 to 15, you go in the middle, you dispel. We always dispelled on basically this purple marker, but in the middle of the room. We did not overcomplicate it. We did not try to be like, okay, pass it to player X. No, maybe you do that in Mythic, but here, if you want the debuff, go stand near the purple marker in the middle of the room. If you don't want the debuff, don't stand near there. Certain classes are really good at it, like I said, hunters, mages, balanced druids outside their cooldowns, healers, all very, very, very good at dealing with it. If you're like a shadow priest, or even like a warlock or something like that, and you don't want it, disc priest, whatever, don't stand in the marker. And that's how we handle it. So again, here's the fell lines here. And now you can see the next group of players are going to be running in and they're going to be taking out the puddles. This one needs to be taken out. See how no one's taking this out? This is a huge problem because this is where the melee clump is. So this is a huge mistake, but you can fix that. The other thing I want to talk about here is this hunt. So this hunt basically targets one player, and a bunch of players need to soak it. In Mythic, it's a lot more complicated because there's 3 at once. But in Heroic, you can just have people standing there. Don't overthink it. Big line equals good. So you see how this player here, he gets targeted. This is a small line, meaning that players are going to have a hard time soaking. Notice how you can't soak all together. You get these circles around you need to spread out. This player is doing the correct thing, making a bigger line, and then more players file in, reducing the damage a lot. So you can see it still hurt this warlock for 55% of their health. With how many people in it, that was quite a lot. Big line, better, step in. Other than that, that's kind of like the core aspect of the non-intermissions. And we can hop to the intermissions here. So this is going to be a kill, so I don't know if we'll see everything. But we're going to hop over here. And I just want to show off some stuff. So again, you have your Havoc, your Shadow, and your Vengeance Demon Hunters. Purple soaks in front of Shadow. This is what we talked about with the players taking it. Should be taken by mobile range and healers, exactly what we talked about. Soaking gives a dispellable debuff. Again, take that to the middle. Gain stacks and heal absorb every time. It's just heal them. They take more damage. Dispel, we said X, but basically in the middle of the room. If you want it to be dispelled, then it goes to the nearest player. So that's the core strategy here. Now, here, you have 3 main phases. So we talked about this frontal. I brought it up very briefly, but very classic. And it's going to frontal and then drop those things I told you guys to soak. You see it, run into it. Don't overthink it. Then you have these. Again, we want to be taking the ones in the, or shrinking the ones under the boss first, and then dealing with the outer ones. That's for the players that dispels. Big line. More people can soak. Alright, and now we're going to talk about the intermissions. So you're going to have a Shadow, a Havoc, and a Vengeance intermission. And let's see if all the mods shows it. If not, I can just talk about it. So, the Shadow intermission, you just spread out around the boss and soak orbs. In Heroic, we had like ranged players on the perimeter. In Mythic, you can't do that. So we actually had people, I think it's probably better to play a little close to the boss, depending on tuning. If it hurts really, really bad, it's going to be better to be close to the boss. But play it by ear. Every time you soak, it gives you a debuff, so you can't take infinite amount, but you make a wall around the boss. It's like the orbs. One thing to note, and I know a lot of guilds miss this. The other bosses jump to the outside of the arena, but they're still targetable. So having like your dot classes kind of camp this area is really nice. Like so if you have your Shadow Priest just stand here or something, they can hit both. So I don't know if they're going to fix that, but just an FYI. In Mission 2, it's just like, I don't want to call them blaze lines, but they kind of borderline are. And you just stand still, move along your line. If you're a ranged player, you can shoot off the edge if you're at the edge like this guy. Again, the two other the other two bosses are going to stand here, so having your multi-daughters up here might help you out a lot. Number 3, the Venge is going to jump probably to the largest group of players, but we don't actually know. And it does like this huge cone that you can outrange. I don't know if they're going to fix that, but you can also just sidestep it. Very, very easy to deal with. So let's take a look. So you're going to see here the two bosses are jumping outside the arena. And then here are the orbs. So we're grabbing the orbs. And you see how he's getting stacks? Well, now it's going to go down to 0. But he did have stacks there. So just don't kill yourself. And take the orbs. And that's it for intermission 1. And then the boss is going to hop out. And it's going to be the same stuff. So you get the hunt. And we're going to go all the way to intermission 2. So you can see here in intermission 2, it's just blaze lines. So see the bosses, they're going to jump away, they're going to go to their perches, and you just move up and along your line. You try not to move last second. Ranged players can shoot them off. Again, we're going to kill here. If you look at like our longer VOD, you'd see the third intermission. But the third intermission is literally just the Vengeance boss will jump, do a giant cone. You can outrange it or move. Maybe get a movement speed every time it jumps just to make it safe. And that's it. It's definitely the easiest one. And then the enrage is everything. All the intermissions happen at once. So it's pretty doomed. And then notice we're late in the fight here. These debuffs you took in the first 5 seconds are still active. We're still passing them around. So that's everything with Soul Hunters. Basically, are you good at WoW? Is this fight? In a lot of mechanic puke. Some people love it, some people hate it. It is what it is. Hopefully this is helpful, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.